Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Just doing an impromptu. I don't think I've ever done a get ready with me, but I'm going to quickly do my makeup before we head out. But I need you to understand something that being a woman who's clear on who she is, that helps you get so much more in your life. And so, one of the things that I want to share with you this morning is this idea of being a treasure versus being a trap. How to be a treasure and not a trap. As I do my makeup, as I said, this is NYX butter melt glaze soften. It's like a what is it? A moisturizer, tinted moisturizer. It's by NYX, and I love it. I use the shade butter hazelnut butter. What did I do with my makeup brush? Hazelnut butter is my color. And this is something that I don't normally go live doing my makeup. So this is very different for me. But I just felt like it. I woke up in the sunshine and I said, let me do this. And so in the one of the things that I want you to understand is that being a treasure means that you operate in peace. And the reason why you're able to operate in peace is because you know that you carry peace. When you don't know who you are, you can't walk in peace. And that is most of the issues that you guys have. Most of the issues that you guys have is because you don't walk in peace. A woman who's peaceful with herself. I was walking around the hotel that I'm at yesterday, and we got in from church, and one of the things that someone said was they noticed how people always gravitate towards me and they always talk to me. I get offered free stuff all the time, and they're like, "How did you get that?" And I don't know. I'm like, I don't know, but I do know. It's because I carry this sense of peace. And when you operate in peace and divine confidence, there's nothing that nobody can take away from you. A question here. Do you think men in this generation have lost touch with the kind of woman that I preach or the kind of woman I talk about? I think that women, we control the narrative. So when we close our legs, when we raise our standards, men have no choice but to switch things up or to do what needs to be done in order to attract the right kind of wife, attract the right kind of man. The issue is that a lot of women, and this is something that is a bit of a negative effect of feminism, is that when women decided they wanted to be equal to men, what actually happened was there was a loss of equity. What we really need is equity, not equality. And so men and women have different needs, different desires, different ways of doing things. And when society decided that, okay, men and women need the same things, that's where things kind of switched up, because the idea should have always been equity and not equality. All right. And so we've got to understand that. So this is my blush that I'm wearing today. It's by e.l.f. It's a liquid pink. What's the color? Can't even see. Oh, coming in hot pink. So that's my blush. But what I've realized is that the way that, yes, equity over equality. And so as ladies, it's about learning that I don't need you to I don't think men and women should be treated the same. What I believe is that as a woman, there are different elements that we need. For example, we have monthly cycles. Our bodies are created differently, different shapes, different desires. The way we eat is different. Men, typically you can eat a lot more foods, and because of how your metabolism works, the way that you lose weight is different too. So there's different strokes for different folks. The way we're shaped, the way we think, we are literally created, even from the beginning, we were made differently. When God created woman, he made woman out of a man. That is not the same for how a man was created. A man was created, out of the dust. And then from a man's body, God created woman. And whether you agree with the creation story or you believe it to be true is non-essential. I'm going to do this is my lip tint. It's like I use this as my lip liner. And it's by, I think this is Sachet. Oh yeah, Sachet. And the color I'm wearing is Clover. And I just do this like a lip liner. And so for me, it's not that men today aren't prepared. There is an issue of that as well, because not enough men are teaching other men. I'll leave that on and that will dry. And when I peel it off, it'll be a nice color. Not enough men are teaching other men. And so a lot of times the ladies that will come into my membership, I have a membership which is currently only $47 a month for women who are interested in being marriage ready. So it's particular. We're talking about the long game here. We're not talking about just being the woman that he is his dream for one night. That is not being the woman of his dreams. Being his dream for one night is not what I'm interested in at all. And this is I bought my OG. I went back to my OG concealer. Who remembers this concealer? It's LA Girl Pro Concealer, and the color I'm wearing is Fawn. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of this. Not too much. As you can see, I don't really use a lot of product because I believe in your skin being the main thing. And so let me get back to talk about, even as it relates to your question about you're asking me about whether men are ready. A lot of men aren't ready because we live in a different society, but it's the work of us as a community to really see what can happen. And I'm just using a wet beauty blender here, just to blend this in a little bit. And so when you're a trap, you're operating in manipulation, and you're operating in fear, and you're also operating in performance. And that's why I don't believe in performative femininity. When women perform for the right man, when they pretend to be feminine, when they ask me what should they wear, how should they do their hair, those kind of things. When you're only interested in being performative, you are not thinking of the long term, because you can't be putting on a face and putting on behavior for the rest of your life. How are you going to be married to this man till death do you part for like 80 years, 50 years, 60 years, and you have been pretending the whole time that you were dating, you were pretending to be somebody else? I don't believe in a representative. I believe in putting your best foot forward from the beginning. When you put your best foot forward from the beginning and you sharp as you're meant to be, right? So that's why I talk a lot about the mindset of being a feminine woman, the mindset of the rich wife. And the rich wife ideology, which I came up with the Lord. R stands for royal. I stands for intentional. So you have to learn to be intentional. If you want to be the treasure and not the trap, you must learn to be intentional. And having an idea of knowing your own value. Now, here's the thing. Is it nice when you get compliments? Of course it's nice when you get compliments. Who doesn't love compliments? But you should not need external validation from men or from anybody else in order to be who God has created you to be. Let's see if I like that. You should not need external validation from any man in order to be the one that God has called you to be. Am I in a relationship or partnership? This is a very interesting question. This is how I always put it. I am in between marriages. And as soon as I told someone, yesterday, a couple of days ago, one of the guys that, is interested in me was asking that same question. And I said to him, well, I'm on the phone with you right now. So how about we concentrate on you and I together? So I'm currently not married. And so I'm in between marriages. I've been married before. And so that's always the way I like to answer. And when I'm in a committed relationship is walking towards marriage. And so as soon as I get to that point, I will no longer be single, but I'm currently in between marriages. That's how I like to describe it. So I always get that question a lot. And what I've learned throughout time and just through observation and through the thousands of women who have been through my programs and have seen tremendous success is that being a wife is a mindset. It's being a mindset. The Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And in order to understand that I am his favor, it means that I have to show up in a way knowing that I am favor. So when you're a treasure, you are able to use your presence to inspire. So when a man says to you things like, oh my gosh, you make me want to go harder, you make me want to work harder, you make me want to, I can't wait to bring you all the joy and different things that, he says, that's what you're looking for. Telling me I'm beautiful is great because I know I'm beautiful. But at the same time, when a man's like, oh my gosh, you make me want to work harder. Like, I love seeing your ambition. I love seeing you go after things because I am very ambitious. And that's why I really talk to women who are ambitious women who are of faith or are open to the fact that I use biblical principles. So I'm going to do a little bit of contouring. I don't do a lot. This is a liquid contour by e.l.f. And the color I'm using is Rich. Oh, I love that name, Rich. Thank you. Yes, a woman who magnifies purpose is the goal. Exactly. And so you got to try and think about this. Someone said to me the other day, they're like, oh, they don't want a woman who's a bill. I said, no, you don't want a woman who's a bill. You want a woman who's an investment. So I'm just going to do a little bit of contouring. Just a tiny bit. No, you don't want a woman who's a bill. You want a woman who is an investment. An investment accrues interest over time. So that's why when I talk about being a treasure is somebody that is treasured. And you're an asset that is growing over time. Being with you should make his life 1000% better because you're around. And that's why I don't believe in just entertaining any and anybody. When you know your worth and you know your value and you know what you have to offer, you know that your life brings joy, you know that your presence brings excitement and things like that, then you are, and this is one of the attributes of the rich wife, is that you're unforgettable. That even when you decide to part ways, and breaking up isn't a bad thing. This is why, if you listen to my wording, I don't really believe in being a full committed exclusive relationship unless you're walking towards marriage. Because what will happen is when you're in a pseudo marriage relationship that's not real, without a ring, without a contract, without that agreement, you're allowing yourself to put everything into one basket. I don't believe in putting all your eggs in one basket with a man. Until he shows you that this is the best basket I could ever be in, then you continue to keep your options open and watching, observing, and learning. So then another thing about being a trap is that you use seduction to control. Now, if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I talk about sexual energy, I talk about sensuality, I talk about femininity, I talk about how God views these type of things. And you'll understand that you can be seductive in like the way that you are, but it doesn't have to be a negative thing. Your man should see you and feel like, oh my gosh, I want her so much. But he shouldn't just stop there. There should be this element of, I want her, but I actually want her. Like, I want her, all of her. I don't just want her body. I actually want to be with her. I want to be around such a woman that inspires me to keep going, that inspires me to do what I need to do, and a woman that I can see myself in the long term with. Hey, I'm good. How are you? All right. And when you use your presence to inspire, then he's able to show up in a particular way. Whereas when you are only using your body and your pretty privilege, you will not get the results that you desire. Pretty privilege is a real thing. And I think in another video, I'm going to talk about, how to use your pretty privilege, and why it's important to be grateful, that you're, beautiful and attractive. I'm just going in with some, I don't know what you guys call this powder. I forgot. But I'll tell you what color it is in just a second. It goes everywhere. I love the way this kind of sets my face. I love it. I know everybody's not a big fan of using such a yellow powder, but on me, I love the effect it has. And then I just go in and put some here. A little bit here. I'll tell you the color just a second. It's so messy. Ugh. Does anyone know how this powder can be less messy? So this, I believe this is Fenty. I actually don't know. Actually, I think this is a Fenty powder. I can't remember. But the color it's called Pro Filter. And the color is honey. Honey. I love a yellow gold powder. I love a good yellow powder that just kind of like sets my face up nicely. And here's the other thing as well. So being a trap means that you're only here enticing the flesh, as we talked about, just like enticing the body, that type of thing. Being pretty, being sexy, being soft. But when you are the treasure, you awaken his spirit. Does he wake up, and when you say to him, oh my gosh, I'm doing this new business venture, or I'm going to this meeting, or I'm about to try this new recipe, I'd love if you could taste it, that type of thing. What you are doing is you are showing him. Do you see how I just peeled that off? So I leave it on, usually leave it on for about 10 minutes. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but it gives me a bit of a lip liner effect. I don't know if you can see that. You see that? That's the stain, and it will stay on all day. So that's what I do in the morning, in terms of like when it comes to that part of my makeup. And then I'm just going to go in again, just like make sure everything's blended out the way I like it. I forgot my setting spray, so I don't have any setting spray. I may use some powder. Just before I leave, I will definitely go ahead in with some powder, as I kind of like get into the rest of my day. It's so hot here. The humidity is not too bad. Like my hair is pressed out. I don't have a relaxer, but my hair takes straightening very well. So the good thing is that even with the humidity, it's still holding up really well, which I love. And then here's a couple more things I want to talk about, and then I'm going to wrap this up today. Another thing is that when you are the trap, you're reactive, you're impulsive, you're insecure. But when you realize you're the treasure, you're allowing yourself to be discerning, to be anchored, and you're selective. Remember, I talked about this earlier, about you not being for everyone, about you not being for everybody, and realize that. So just bear with me 1 second. I want to get a slip. When you realize that you're not for everyone, you will show up differently, right? When you realize you're not for everybody. So I've got this slip on that I like to wear under my clothes, and I'm going to go ahead and put this dress on real quick, and when we'll continue, because you got to realize that when you are the treasure and not a trap, you're able to show up differently. My hair's a little bit messy. Give me 1 second. Here we go. It's the dress I'm going to be wearing today. And you realize that a trap ensnares something, you're catching it. And usually it's not for a good reason, right? When you try to trap something, when you go into the woods and you're trapping a rabbit or something like that, that's against their will. And it is going to be painful. A trap is painful. A trap is definitely not for life. It is more for what I can get right now. When people trap an animal when they go hunting and things like that, it's because you are catching something. Whereas when you know that you're a treasure, you empower him to make a decision for you. And you allow yourself opportunity to step into who you are. The other thing about being a treasure is that you attract through overflow. When you attract into your life men, money, opportunities through overflow, you definitely have a great result as it relates to anything in your life. When you know your value, and here's the thing, ladies, that I need you to understand today, and if you like this type of teaching, you can join my membership. It's currently only $47 a month. When we, at the end of October, we're rising the price, but for right now, it's only $47 a month. And this is the pink that I like. It's another NYX color that I love. And I'm using the NYX Butter Gloss, and the color I'm in is Strawberry Cheesecake. So you see how nice that looks with the lip stain that I used. So I use this one, the sachet color in Clover, and then I'm using this NYX lip gloss in Butter Gloss in Strawberry Cheesecake. Can you see? So that's all my makeup, and I've got on these tiny studs on. These tiny studs. And so when you realize this, you're able to put yourself in a position where you're less likely to, you're less likely to be in situations you're not meant to be when you position yourself in this way. And I've come to realize that, I've written it down here as well, is that when you know your value, you don't perform for provision or for affection. You don't perform for that. You become the evidence of God's goodness in his life. When he sees you, he knows. When he sees you, he knows that you're his treasure. He knows that by being around you, his life gets exponentially better. There's this idea of being able to breathe, being able to sit back, being able to relax. And you don't need to prove your worth. You already embody it. So he knows by coming towards you, coming up to you, by speaking to you, by connecting with you, that you know your own worth and you know who you are. So godly femininity is never meant to be manipulative or self-serving. A trap says, I'll get what I want by any means necessary. So you're going to do anything it takes. You're going to do everything it takes. You're going to try to seduce him, getting into your bed. You're going to try to get pregnant for him. You're going to read his messages on his phone when he's sleeping. You're going to be looking at everybody he's following and getting upset if he follows a pretty girl or his ex or something like that. I, Rachel-Yvonne McIntosh, do not care about any of that stuff. Because I'm going to tell you something. If a man wants to do what he's going to do it anyway. You going for his phone, you checking up on him every minute, you calling him all the time, you getting jealous of his female friends, women that he knows, women he's connected to, his ex, his ex-wife, the mother of his kids. Like, you getting jealous of those things or being concerned about those things takes away from your value as a woman. Does it mean that it doesn't bother you? No, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say it doesn't bother you. Of course, it's going to bother you. You're a woman. But at the same time, you realize that when I am a treasure, I already need what I have in God. So then I draw what's aligned to me. Whatever's aligned to you, you're going to draw that to you. And if he's misaligned, you know. So I was walking around the hotel yesterday, and gentleman, I sat down to do something. Gentleman came up to me. He's like, "Oh, I saw you. Where I'm staying is humongous. There's like thousands of people. It's like a massive resort." And so he was like, "Oh, I noticed you yesterday because I liked how you dress." I was like, "Oh, thank you." Because when you are yourself, and I didn't. I mean, where I'm staying, everything's included. So he offered to get me a drink, but it didn't really matter because it wasn't like an investment on his part because we're all in the same place. And this is why you got to understand that you got to be in that area, be around, be present, be available, be open, be in the places where you know that people who are worthy of your attention will also be. The Bible says in 12 verse 4, you need to understand that you are the crown. You're not, when people say marriage is a ball and chain, they're looking at it from the wrong perspective. When you realize that you are the favor and not the woman that he has to fight with. A leader, a man who is a leader, a man who is inspirational, a man who is present, a man who has vision, who has a lot going on in his life, he's fighting with the world. Does not need to come to you and he's fighting with you as well. He does not need to call you and now you've got an attitude because yada yada. Be happy in your own life. When you're happy in your own life and your man is not your everything, he's not the person that fulfills everything you need, you realize that God is the one who is that. And you're not looking for it in your man or any man or your husband, whatever. And in another word is you are the helpmeet and not his hindrance or his block. You are the woman that actually helps. And it doesn't mean that you need to help. Looks different for every man, right? And you got to decide what's your capacity as a woman, as a wife. What is your capacity? This means that a man aligned with God should elevate when he encounters you, and you should also elevate. Your presence should sharpen his purpose and not distract him from his purpose. Now, of course, when you're, attractive and confident and beautiful, there is an element of, I said that earlier, when you have pretty privilege, and if you don't have it, you get it. You get it. Whatever, say you're going to say to me, but Rachel, I've got bad skin. What are your other assets that look great? Maybe have super expressive big eyes. Then learn how to move your face in a particular way. Practice when you're just in a regular place. Practice when you're walking through town, or you're in the shopping mall, or you're on your way to work, or whatever you do in your life. When you say that I am this woman, I am a treasure, not a trap, you're actually renouncing anything that's counterfeit in your life. So counterfeit, manipulative, performative, feminine energy. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in being feminine for the right man. I believe that when you wake up in the morning, you should automatically be who you are. So I had on a silk robe earlier just before I got changed into my dress for today. And that's what I wear when I'm getting ready, when I am after, I'm in between my routines. Even when just around the house, I'm wearing a robe. I've got silk robes. I've got fluffy plush cotton robes. And I also don't wear like random t-shirts. You'll never see me in a random t-shirt. You never see me in pajamas. I don't like pajamas. And I prefer to wear things that feel good. And there's nothing wrong with pajamas. If you find, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm showing you things that I do and how it helps me to get my mindset in a particular way. And it is displayed in the results in my life. And for those of you that are my clients, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't share everything in the public because some things need to be protected and gatekept, so that those who are ready to receive can receive it. And when you return to your divine holy nature as a powerful woman, a holy woman, and irreplaceable, you start to show up differently. When I got these codes from God, and I got them from reading the Bible, when I got these codes from God for being a rich wife, everything in my life started to change. When I started to switch up how I behave, how I think, how I show up in the world, everything in my life started to fall into place. Because you're saying that when I carry worth as a treasure is something that's valuable. A treasure is something that is wanted, that is desired, that is coveted. When you show up in that way, you know that you're carrying a sense of worth that comes from within, not from what other people say about you and how other people treat you or how they speak to you. Your softness is a sacred thing. The word sacred and holy means being assigned only for godly use only. That means you don't entertain any man. You see how it always goes back to this? And when a man is in love with you, it helps to refine who he is as a man as well. So in kingdom terms, what are we saying here today? We're saying that you are both a gift and a gate. That I am a gift and a gate. Because you bring joy, because you're a gift to any man that you're around, because you bring joy, you bring peace and beauty into his life. Yes, because you take care of yourself, you look after yourself, you are beautiful to look at and to behold. Behold, thou art fair, my love. There is no flaw in thee. I need you to say it in the mirror. I got a mirror right here. And I was saying that before I went live. I said, Rachel, you look good. You are fair. You are beautiful. You have no flaws in you. You know who you are. You're a queen. You're highly favored. You're royal. You're everything a man will wish for. And you are a gift to the world. Those are things I will literally do in the mirror like I just did now. And then the reason why I say you're a gate as well is because not everyone has access. Only the one God ordains to you receives the key. Only the one that has been God ordained for you should receive the key to your heart, to your body, to whatever it is. The one that God has ordained for you. And so I want to end this live with a bit of a declaration. And if you want me to share this in a post as well, I will do that so you can save it and put it on your phone. Remind yourself as well who you are. And it goes like this. I am a treasure. I'm not a trap. I do not chase. I don't prove. I don't persuade. I don't convince. My worth is measured by heaven and heaven alone, and not the opinions of men. I am the favor he prays for. I'm the peace he didn't know he needed. And I'm the woman who multiplies whatever God places in my hand. That is it. Very simple. Now, if you want more things like that, join my membership. My membership is only $47 a month. It's $47 a month. And in there, you get a private podcast where I pretty much almost every day will drop in a podcast. Once you join it, you'll get access to the magnetic seminar, the how to be irresistible seminar, unforgettable, holy and hot. Holy and hot was one of my favorite. Holy and hot. Let me see what else is there. There's the one. But I've also got, if you want more than just like the 47 membership, which is essentially audio notes and prompts. If you want more than that, then I suggest you join the one, which is a new program that I'm going to be releasing very soon. It's going to be 6 weeks. And then you get monthly calls every month as well. And if you're interested, let me know and I'll put the information up today. And I need you to understand that when you are the treasure that everybody's been looking for, you're the treasure. You're the one he seeks out to find. You're the one he wants. You're the one he's always inspired by. Your life looks so different when you do that. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. I pray everyone enjoyed my little mini get ready with me. I don't really do too much as it relates to makeup. Number one, because I want to look the same in real life. Number two, because I believe in working with what God gave you and then enhancing those things just a little bit of a nip and tuck here and there, a little bit of a tweak here and there, accentuate different features. I don't wear mascara. I don't like mascara. I hate mascara. So I don't do that. I do have some, a few lashes in. I don't like strips either. I don't do strip lashes. I can't do that. Strip lashes, I'm terrible at that. So I've got some lashes in on my top, and then I just leave it kind of natural like this. So I hope you enjoyed it. I've never done a get ready with me before. So I hope you enjoyed that today. And I'll see you guys again soon. Send me a message if this inspired you, encouraged you, anything, and let me know. If you have any questions, go ahead and send them in my DMs. If you're on YouTube, in the description, you can see everything you need to see. Those on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, send me a message and I would love to connect with you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.